to tell us about what you passed down and everything? Shh. Voice is off. 5, 4.
Hello, my name is Abraham Lincoln. I'm the 16th President of the United States. As President, I guided the country through its most difficult period called the Civil War. I spent my time as President trying to keep the country together. I'm called the most famous President ever. I was born in a log cabin February 12, 1809 in Hodgenville, Kentucky. My father was a poor farmer who moved us from Kentucky to Indiana and then to Illinois. When I was 9 years old, my mother died. It was very hard for me. My father married Sarah Johnston, who I liked very much. She gave me books to read. I loved to read books and would walk lots of miles to borrow them. I only went to school for 18 months my whole life. It was my books that helped to educate me. My political career started in 1832 when I ran for Illinois General Assembly. I lost, but I tried again 2 years later and this time I won. I studied to become a lawyer and I did in 1836. I practiced law until I was elected to the U.S. Congress in 1846. Oh, and by the way, I also got married to Mary Todd in 1842. We had 4 sons. In 1860, I gave my first speech against slavery, which I didn't agree with. Then I was nominated to be the Republican candidate for President of the United States. On November 6th, I was elected as the 16th U.S. President. Because I thought slavery was wrong, 6 southern states seceded, which means they broke away from the Union. On April 12, 1861, Confederate soldiers opened fire on Fort Sumner, starting the Civil War. On January 1st, 1863, I issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which eventually led to freeing all the slaves. During the Civil War, I gave many speeches, including the Gettysburg Address, my most famous speech. I gave this speech on November 19, 1863. Here's a picture of me giving that speech. And this is the speech in my own handwriting. I would like to recite that for you now. Just put that down. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are men on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, cannot consecrate, cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will no longer remember what we say here, but they can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work, which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from the earth. Thank you. I was re-elected as president in 1864 and the Civil War ended on April 9, 1865. One night, my wife Mary and I went to go see him play in Washington, D.C. A bad man named John Wilkes Booth, who hated me because I freed slaves, shot me in the back of the head. Can I just take all this? And the president was no more. Abraham Lincoln died the next morning on April 15, 1865. His body was taken by train to Oak Ridge Cemetery, where he was buried on May 4, 1865. Thank you.
Wow. He memorized the whole Gettysburg Address, the paper that he passed out to you.
He didn't pass it out to us.
Oh, okay, we have the extras. But this is what he passed out. This is what he recited.